Gananam tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavina Upavasravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspada Anasrunvannota Sadanam Om Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Virvajinivati Dhinamavitriyavatu Om Mahasaraswatye Namaha Hari Om Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrichorma amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Matrudevo Bhava Pitrudevo Bhava Acharya Devo Bhava Atiti Devo Bhava Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Harihi Om. Swamini Sadvidyananda Palcharanabhyam Namaskaraha Kurtva Namaskaram Kurtva Ajya Karyakram Arambham Kurmaha. Ajya Karyakram Pravacanakarta Asti Swamini Sadvidyananda from Pardoli, Gujarat. Ajya Nava Asitihi webinar Karyakram Asti Veda Samskruti Chacha Vedikayam. Pratham Swamini Ahvanam Kurtva, Namaskaram Kurtva, Kinchit Parichayam Karomi. Swamini Sadvidyananda Saraswati is a disciple of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati of 1930 to 215. He is a great exponent of Vedanta and Hindu scriptures. She teaches the great truth contained in Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads and simple language that can be understood by a lame person also, who has desire to know the truth of life, real truth of life. She is also a scholar in Sanskrit and hence has direct access to original scriptures. It's not that any other lens of bhasha she talks about. She has her own knowledge she got from acquired from the scriptures. She tries to explain and educate the people. She studied Vedanta and Sanskrit for more than a decade with His Holiness Swami Dayananda Saraswati in the ancient Gurukulam system of learning. Her compassion for the afflicted and her simple lifestyle makes her a Mahatma of a common people. She is fluent in English, Gujarat, and Hindi. The spiritual life she started from the year 1881 to 88. She studied Vedanta in Surat, Gujarat, and under Swami
Pratyek Bodhanandaji,
the disciple of Pujya Swami Dayanandaji. In 1983, she had an opportunity to meet Pujya Swami Dayanandaji first time in Vadodara. In between, whenever there were opportunities, she also studied Vedanta and attended camp under Swami Viditatmanandaji Adhyatma Vidya Mandir, Ahmedabad. After attending her last portion of the courses, October 88 to December 89, in Arsha Vidya Gurukulam in
Sellersburg, Pennsylvania.
He studied detailed Prasthatyage Gita Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, primary texts of Vedanta, Panini Sanskrit, and Vedic chanting from October 1900 chanting from 1990 to May 1994 in traditional Arsha Vidya curriculum, Annai Kanti, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. From the last 25 years, she is spreading this knowledge in Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads in Gujarati in different towns of Gujarat like Navasari, Baradoli, Valsad, Vidimura, Vyara, and Bhavnagar. She is also visiting schools in these towns and surrounding tribal areas to educate the students of the schools. From 2003 to 2013, she traveled around abroad extensively and had many lectures to her credit. USA, Canada, New Zealand are the places only she visited. She also organized the 3 days children camps in few cities of USA. She was invited by the Acharya Swami Dayananda Ashram Rishikesh to teach Vedanta and Panini grammar for 3 years course students from March to October 2018. November 2018, she also taught Yoga Darshana by Muni Patanjali in 3 yoga camps by Nandakumar and Rakesh Upadhyaya in Rishikesh Ashram. She also studied and presented papers in various conferences such as National Education Conference in Pune and Gwalior, Sri Vidya International Conference, Mysore, Namami Shankar, Bhavishya Parayanam, Kanyakumari, Vedanta Conference, Rishikesh, and Vedanta Conference in abroad. Under the banner of her trust, Arsha Vidya Tirtha Navasari, she has translated and published more than 37 small books of her revered Guru Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ji into Gujarati. And from 1998 to 2003, she also translated voluminous book of 2000 A4 pages on Bhagavad Gita. Gita Home Study into Gujarat, that is the book of the name, into 26 volumes for the benefit of those who can understand it better in one's own language, mother tongue. The second print of the same was in 14 volumes, 2005 to 2019, and now the third print of the same book is available in 9 hardbound volumes. For all the classes of Gita, Upanishad, primary books and Vedanta, we have Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata Puranam in Gujarati are recorded in now and are now classes are available in MP3 format for the benefit of sincere students who are not able to attend the classes. Since 2011, she is preparing the table calendar based on the various spiritual and cultural topics centered on Gita and life of Lord Krishna. Since corporate world is often seen disconnected with spirituality, she has successfully worked on an opportunity where a corporate group publishes around the annual data calendar. Here, using different spiritual themes, one relates to business, world protecting values, ethics, and principles that inspire businesses to be socially focused. Using a central theme such as value-based management, personal reorganization, yajna, that inspire business to be socially focused. Using a central theme such as value-based management, personal reorganization yajna, the worshipful lifestyle, successful living, yoga darshana, she has formulated various studies on this subject. From consumer to contributor, multiple to rural playing, global family and harmony, etc. One can use month-wise story theme across the month of the year. The same is later converted into corporate study class, where senior directors and managers attend to learn business values and applications from spirituality. So the corporate sector is to be properly educated. This calendar definitely educates them and keeps them in direct principles path. Thus, she is constantly active to teach and to spread the profound knowledge of Vedic vision and culture and Vedanta to the seekers in simple Gujarati language, but with the depth and also in English and Hindi in abroad. She is regularly visiting tribal areas of Ahwadang, Navasari, and Dharmapur, Palsad in Gujarat for education and welfare of the tribal children and adults. All these things, taking care of her old mother at the house at the of 90 years.
Thank you.
Great service to the society. And
She is now 92, Prabhakar ji.
Namaste.
She's 92 now.
So, with all this, last 1.5 years, she is associated with Veda Samiti. Her ideas and her speech are totally very well convicted, as very clear and understanding, in very fluent in language, speaking in either in Gujarati or in Hindi or in English or in Sanskritam. And her Veda Sirvajanam is a blessing to us every lecture. So with all this, with a small brief, I request Swamini Sadvidyananda ji to take over and give us the light on the Pramana of Vedanta, ultimate Pramana of Vedanta. Swagatam Swamini ji.
Namaskar. 45 minutes?
Yeah, 40 minutes, 1 hour is up to you.
Okay, 1 hour. Om Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Maksha Virya Jatraha Sirirangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vishema Devahi Yadayuhu Swastina Indra Vruddashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starsho Arishtanemihi Swastino Bruhaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavidyan Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavardhaya Shuddha Gnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Namaste to all. The title says ultimate means of knowledge of individual and the creator. So I have divided this topic into 5 topics. First is the Pramana Vichara. What is a Pramana? Most of the teachers in India are confused for this thing. Because what is Pramana? Pramana is a means of knowledge. Means of knowledge means through which you can know something. You are hearing me through your Shrotrendriya, you are seeing me through your Chakshurendriya. So Chakshurendriya is a Pramanam for Darshana Kriya. Shrotrendriya is a Pramanam for Shravana Kriya. And therefore, in our Shastra, there is a very deep analysis on Pramana called Pramana Vichara. And whenever we use the word Pramanam, we have to see 3 things. The definition of Pramana is Pramakaranam Pramanam, that which is the means of knowledge. But what is Pramanam? What is the definition of Pramanam? So our Shastra has given very beautiful definition of Pramana called Apurvam Abadhitam Swatantram Pramanam. Any Pramana, whether it is a Chakshurendriya, Shrotrendriya, whatever. So the Pramana is a one which is Apurva. Apurva means unique. Unique means it is unique to its own field. Chakshurendriya can have a capacity for Darshana Kriya, which Shrotrendriya doesn't have. Shrotrendriya has the capacity for Shravana Kriya, which Chakshurendriya doesn't have. And therefore, Pramana means Apurvam. They have their own field of knowledge. Second thing, Abadhitam. Whatever is known through the Pramana cannot be negated by any other means of knowledge. You are hearing me cannot be negated by the eyes, and whatever you are seeing through the eyes cannot be negated by the ears. It's called Abadhitam. And Swatantra. Swatantra means every means of knowledge is independent to know. And therefore, Eyes doesn't need to depend on the ears, and ears don't need to depend on the eyes. And therefore it's called Swatantra. And in Bhagavad Gita, last verse of 16th chapter, Lord Krishna said, Tasmat Shastram te pramanam karya karya vyavasthito. Arjun, Shastra is a pramanam for you. So, Shastra is not a book, understand. Shastra is not something written on the paper. Shastra is a pramanam. But as soon as you use the word pramanam, we have to remember this. That if Veda is a pramana to know, so what is the subject matter of Veda? So there is a sentence, in Parampara we have this verse, Pratyekshena anumityava yastu upayana vidyate Vedena vindanti tasmad vedasya vedata. That which cannot be known through the pratyaksha pramana, direct means of knowledge, that cannot be known through the indirect means of knowledge called paroksha, anumanadi paroksha. That can be known through the Veda, and therefore Veda itself has a status of being a pramana. Now, as I said, that what we can know through the Veda, cannot be known by any other means of knowledge. And therefore, Veda is a Swatantra Pramanam. We have to take it as a Swatantra Pramanam. Lot of people are trying to see that what Veda says is in science or not. That's not proper. Because, as I said, it is a Swatantra Pramana. In our Shastra, there are 6 types of the Pramana discussed. What is Veda Pramana will come at the end of this. How many types of the Pramanas are there? So we say there are 6 means of knowledge are there. There is 6 of Pramana, understand. The first one is called Pratyaksha Pramana. Pratyaksha Pramana, that which you can see through your 5 senses. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. These 5 objects are there and known through our eyes. We can see the Rupa, that is a form. Through the ears, we can hear the sound. Through the skin, Tvacha, what you call, understand. The Sparsha, Anubhava. Sense of touch, it is called. Then through the eyes, we can see the form. Through the nose, we can sense the smell. And through our tongue, that is a Jihvendriya, we taste the taste. And therefore, these are the Pratyaksha Pramana. Pratyaksha means that which is Prati Aksha. Aksha means senses. That which is in front of your senses called Pratyaksha Pramana. Then there is a Paroksha Pramana. There are 4 types of the Paroksha Pramana are there. Anumana, Arthapatti, Upama, Anupalabdhi. Anumana means through some Pratyaksha knowledge, we can infer something. As we walk on the road, hearing the sound behind us, we know this is rickshaw, this is bus, this is a scooter. Why? Because the sound of scooter and the scooter we have seen together, sound of bus and the bus we have seen together. So based on the Pratyaksha Pramana, what we know is called Anumanam. That is why Anumana. Mana means some knowledge already is there, and that which follows. Anu means to follow. And that's why it's called Anumana Pramana. Then there is Arthapatti. Arthapatti means 2 negatives. If you see in the morning, everything is wet outside, then you presume there would have been rain at night. Why? If it would not have been rain, see these 2 negatives. If it would not have been rain at night, everything won't be wet. In the Shastra, we have very funny example for this Arthapatti. Devadattaha Pinaha. Devadatta is a fatty fellow. Divana Khadati. Daytime he doesn't eat, but he is fatty. How? That means what? See these 2 negative. If he is not eating, he wouldn't be the fatty person. That means he is eating at night. So this is called arthapatti. Two negatives we have to see. Then simile. Simile means upama. If somebody has gone to Africa, safari, there he has seen the bison, and then if we ask what is this bison, then we can say our buffalo, water buffalo. You know, bison is like our water buffalo. Or if somebody has gone to Switzerland and they have seen the beautiful mountains, and then we ask, then we can say it is like our Himalaya. So through the simile upama also we can know something. And the fourth paroksha pramana called anupalabdhi, which a lot of other darshan shastras are not accepting, except Vedanta. They don't take it as an independent pramana. Anupalabdhi is the one most of the time we are using this anupalabdhi pramana. Anupalabdhi means the absence of something. The stock example in the shastra is that, can you see elephant in my hand? Then you will say, no, I don't see. That means what? You are seeing the absence of elephant on my hand. Understand this? So that is called anupalabdhi pramana. Most of the time we are using this pramana only. We are walking because we know there is nothing in front of me. We are eating because we know that our stomach is empty. We are writing on the paper because we know the paper is empty. Understand? So this is called paroksha pramana. Then the sixth one is called shabda pramana. Understand? The shabda pramana also, through the shabda also we can introduce somebody or we can introduce something. All our knowledge, whether it is in the knowledge, in the school or the university, is all shabda pramana. Understand? But in shabda pramana also there are two types of the shabda pramana. Vachyartha and lakshyartha. Vachyartha means directly you see. This is yellow flower. So that is a direct means. That is called vachyartha. But there is another also is there, which we also use daily. In our daily transaction we use. You know, sometimes the father is writing something and he will tell child, bring me that yellow one. Now yellow one means what? Does it need to bring, that child needs to bring the yellow color? No. Child knows that father is asking me yellow file because father is working with the files. So that is called jahal lakshana, ajahal lakshana. Jahal lakshana means you remove something. You ask somebody, where is your house? Then person will tell what? Oh, my house, it's on station. Is it on the platform? No. You remove the station and you see the nearby place of the station. So it's called jahal lakshana. Jahat means to give up something. Then there is ajahal lakshana. In ajahal lakshana also, we don't have to give up. Yellow, bring yellow means what? Yellow you retain and then you add yellow file. In the Shastra we say, Shveto dhavati. White is running. White color cannot run. So what we have to do? We have to add. Shvetaha ashvaha dhavati. So that is called Shvetaha ashva dhavati. That is ajahal lakshana. Then there is jahal ajahal lakshana is there. Something you have to remove, something you don't have to remove. And that is called jahal ajahal lakshana. And that is also lakshanartha, which we use in Vedanta called tattvamasi. You know, when we say you are, when the student is told you are Ishvara, you are Jagat Karanam Brahma, then the upadhi is being removed and the tattva, the swarupa is being retained. And that is called jahal ajahal lakshana. I'm very briefly telling you of it. So this is called pramanam, understand. Now in Shabda Pramana, if the object is pratyaksha, then you will have a pratyaksha gnanam. If the object is not in front of you, you will have a paroksha gnanam. Now when it comes to the self, understand this. Shabda Pramana is used to know the self. So there we have to bring our Mundaka Upanishad. Rishi Shaunaka went to his teacher Angira. Look at this sentence. Kasminnu bhagavo vignate sarvam vignatam bhavati. Beautiful sentence, understand. Shaunaka Rishi is asking, knowing which everything is as well known. Instead of giving the direct answer, this is how the Vedanta works. Angira Muni said, Dve vidya vedita. There are two types of the vidyas are there. Paracha, aparacha. Paravidya and aparavidya. Understand? What is aparavidya? Rugvedaha, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvedaha, all Vedangas, everything. All physics, chemistry, biology, everything is called aparavidya. Understand? And why we call it aparavidya? Because there is no last words for this vidya. There, nobody can say that I know everything regarding the flowers. Understand? Because there is something more is there to be known in aparavidya, and therefore there is no last words for aparavidya. Now, what is paravidya? Puja Swamiji, my teacher, Swamidhananji Maharaj used to tell, what is aparavidya? Aparavidya means what? More you know, more you come to know what you don't know. Understand this? More and more you have to feel, new fields are going to open up for you to know something more. And therefore, there is no final words for aparavidya. But when it comes to paravidya, what is the definition of paravidya? Yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate sa para, through which we know that akshar Brahma. That is called paravidya, Brahma vidya, what we call in short. So this paravidya is Vedanta. That's why Vedanta Nam Upanishad Pramanam. The Vedanta also is called Pramanam, understand? So Vedanta is a Pramana. Why you are telling, already you told Veda is a Pramana, then why you are telling Vedanta is a Pramana? Because Veda Pramana is there, we accept Veda as a Pramana. But that is aparavidya. Whereas the Vedanta Pramana is a paravidya, understand? Why? Because knowing which, in 7th chapter, Bhagavan said very clearly, Yajgnatva bhuyaha anyaha gagnatavyam na avashishyate. Look at this. Knowing which nothing else is to be known. Understand? Left out. The shishya, avashishyate. Understand? And therefore, paravidya, that is called Vedanta, is the ultimate means of knowledge. That is what the title of topic we have here. Understand? And so, Vedanta is ultimate means of knowledge we called, because in aparavidya, we cannot have a final words. Why? Because it is sanghata. Whole world is nothing but sanghata. Sanghata means what? That which is intelligently put together. Anything you see, when you say, suppose this is a mobile, understand? What is mobile? The screen is mobile? No. This back is mobile? No. The lens is mobile? No. Chip is mobile? No. Look at this. If you have a flower in your hand, the petals are flower? No. The stem is flower? No. Look at this. Then what is flower? See, this is called biggest contradiction in our life. That which is not flower put together to become the flower. Look at this. This is called sanghata, intelligently put together to serve a purpose. So anything, car also is a sanghata. Your body also is a sanghata, because it is made up of many anga and upanga. Many parts are there. And therefore, it is. Can you give me 1 minute? My mom is calling me. I'm really sorry, but you have to give me 1 minute. Is it okay, Prabhakar-ji?
Namaste, namaste. As you please. She has given a very clear concept between Paravidya and Aparavidya. The Aparavidya is one which by knowing what, we will be knowing what we don't know, and still some more is required to be known. And Paravidya is one by knowing which we don't need to know anything else at all. It's a very such a clear concept has been established by her. Very interesting.
Okay, I'm back. Oh.
Swagatam.
Oh. And so, Sanghata, when we say, there is no ultimate knowledge, understand. Suppose you say this is a paper. Paper is made up of many points. Why? Because fibers are there. All fibers are made up of many particles. Particles are made up of the Anu and Pramana. Look at this. So you can go on reducing it to the something else. And therefore, in Apara Vidya, it is a Sanghata, and therefore there is no final words. And that's why in 15th chapter, Bhagavan said very clearly, Narupamasya tatha eva upalabhyate. Look at this. This Jagat, which is Ashwatha, Urdhvamulam Adashakam Ashwatam Prahu Avyayam. This Ashwatha Sansara Vriksha. That Sansara Vriksha, you cannot say Rupam. Rupam means this is how it is, Tathapi. Why? Because constantly changing. It's changing, and therefore, this is how the world is. This is how the samsara is. Na rupam asya tatha eva upalabhyate. And therefore, apara vidya is not a really knowledge. It is a very transactional knowledge through which we can transact in this world. But the ultimate knowledge is called the paravidya. And to know that paravidya, the ultimate means of knowledge is called Vedanta. Understand this. Why? Because the Akshara Brahma, through which we can know the Akshara Brahma, that Akshara Brahma is Akhanda. There is no parts, there is no Sangata. It is one Ek Advitiya Purna Brahma. And therefore, the knowledge is Brahman is the knowledge. Understand? And knowledge of Brahman is through Vedanta, and therefore I have given the title Ultimate Means of Knowledge. And to know that Brahman, now, as I said, Veda also is a Pramana. So, Veda, when we say Pramana, if you see any traditional Pandita of Veda, there is another definition of Veda is called Agnata Gnapakam Shastram. Understand? Agnata Gnapakam Shastram. That which cannot be known. Agnata. Gnapakam. That makes you, understand? That makes you know, it is called Veda. You cannot know through your Pramana what is heaven, what is Swarga, what is Naraka, what is a Papa, what is a Punya, what is Agnihotra Karma. You don't know. Through Veda, you know all these things. And therefore, that which is unknown to your Pramana can be known through the Veda, and therefore, Agnata Gnapakam Pramanam. That is a basic definition of the Veda. But when it comes to Vedanta, understand this. In 2nd chapter of Gita, Bhagavan says very beautifully, Anashino prameyasya, anashinaha aprameyasya. Atma is anashinaha, that cannot be destroyed, and aprameya. Look at this word aprameya. Prameya means that which is object of knowledge. Gneya, object of knowledge. But Atma is what? Aprameya, not object of knowledge. If you say Atma is not object of knowledge, then how am I going to know Atma? And therefore, Shankaracharya has given very beautiful short bhashya on this aprameya. Shankaracharya says that Atma is not totally unknown, not agnatam. You know I am. Everybody knows I am. I means, understand this. I means Chitta, Chaitanya. M means Sat, existence. The existence consciousness is known to everyone. That's why Shankaracharya says, Nato Atma Nama Kaschit Aprasiddham Vastu Asti. Atma is not totally unknown to anyone. Everybody knows I am. Sat and Chit is known to everyone. But when it comes to the nature, the true nature, the reality of the self, there is a confusion is there. Not ignorance, and confusion is. And therefore, Shankaracharya says that Veda is a means of knowledge as a Agnata Gnapakam, but when it comes to Vedanta, Natu Agnata Gnapakam Shastram, Shankaracharya says in Bhashya, Natu Agnata Gnapakam Shastram. Then what? Shastra is not Pramana? Yes, it is Pramana. But how it is a Pramana? Understand? It is a Pramana. Shankaracharya said, Atadharma Adhyaropa Nivartakatvena Shastrasya Pramanya. By removing the misconcept of the self, that which is being imposed on the self, removing that, and the Shastra is a Pramana. Why? Because we have superimposed so many things on us. The Sat means the existence. That existence is being limited by time. I am consciousness. Everybody knows I am consciousness. I am Chaitanya. I am not Jada. I am not inert. But that consciousness is being limited by this body. And therefore, Bhagavan himself says, Avinashi tu tad vidhi. That means what? You are not bound by time. And you are consciousness which is not limited by body. Yena sarvam idam tatam. And through which that which is pervaded all over. She wants to come. Okay, come. So, Vedanta is telling you something about you which is not totally unknown, and therefore it is not Agnata Gnapakam Shastram. It is the means to remove the superimposition you have done on yourself. I am body, I am mind, I am prana, I am human being, I am tall, I am short, I am young, I am old, I am scholar, and I am disturbed, I am quiet, I am happy, I am unhappy. All kinds of the superimpositions are done on the Atma. And therefore, to remove this superimposition, Vedanta is a Pramana. Now, if we look into that, in short, there are 5 universal superimpositions are there, which is called kosha. Everybody uses kosha as a sheath. It is not sheath, understand? It is not something which is covered, which is covering ourselves. It is a universal mistake. Every human being having this 5 universal mistake called Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha means this sthula body. I am body. Understand? And once you say I am body, what happens? I am born, I am going to die. I am human being, I am young, I am old. So all these superimpositions are there. Then Pranamaya Kosha, I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am disturbed. Understand? So this is the Pranamaya Kosha. Then Manomaya Kosha, mind, all emotions are being superimposed on the self. Same way, Vijnanamaya Kosha, the Kartutva. Knowledge is being superimposed. I am advocate, I am doctor, I am manager, understand. And ultimately, Anandamaya Kosha means I am ignorant. So these 5 superimpositions are there, and therefore Upanishads. If you see Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, or if you see Chandogya Upanishad, all these discussions are there where these Pancha Koshas are being superimposed, that superimposition is being removed, and to remove this superimposition, Vedanta is a Pramana. Now, knowing the self is not Atma Gnanam, understand? Tattvamasi means knowing the self non-separate from Ishvara is a knowledge. You are non-separate from Ishvara. So that non-separate from Ishvara when we say, then we have to understand what is Ishvara, the creator. So the existence of creator is being discussed everywhere. But the existence is Ishvara is not accepted by all Darshan Shastra. If you see Jain Darshan Shastra, Bauddha Darshan Shastra, they don't accept the existence of Ishvara. They don't need Ishvara in their Darshan Shastra. We in our Vedanta also, we in our Veda Darshan Shastra also, we also have a Nirishwarvada. Sankhya Vada is a Nirishwarvada. Nayayika, Vaisheshika, all these are Nirishwar. They don't need Ishvara, understand? And therefore, there are the Darshan Shastra, there are philosophy where Ishvara is not being discussed. But we accept the existence of Ishvara. And therefore, how do you know that there is a Ishvara? Understand? We have to understand the existence of Ishvara. So Shankaracharya on the Kenopanishad, 3rd chapter, introduction, through sheer logic, he has explained that there is Ishvara, the creator. And to know that, he is introducing this 3rd chapter of Kenopanishad, where it is in the previous chapter, it is being said, Yan manasana manute yena hur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam vitti naidam yadidam upasate. Look at it. It is said that which you worship idam, this, it is not Brahman. Naidam yadidam upasate. That means Brahman cannot be known as a idam, this. It has to be known as aham. And therefore, so there, that worshipping is being destroyed, being, what you can say, it is being discarded. Nedam yadidam upasate, you are upasate, you are doing this puja, that is not Brahman. Now, if you say, then we have to accept that there is no Ishvara. So, to establish the existence of Ishvara, this 3rd chapter is there. And there, Shankaracharya very beautifully understand. He is giving the reasons of the 3rd chapter. First one is telling that existence of Ishvara and the worshipping of Ishvara is required. And therefore, this 3rd chapter is starting. Another thing is the Devata, we all know, Dev Asura Yuddha. So in the war between the Asura and Devata, the Devatas being victorious, they had a Abhimana, Ahankara. So they think that this is our victory. They think that it was their victory. Now, without the help of Ishvara, you cannot even perform action. I am speaking because of Ishvara. You are hearing me because of Ishvara. Understand this. And therefore, Shankaracharya says the Devata had a ahankara, ego, that this is our victory, and to destroy their ego, this story of Yaksha is being discussed in the 3rd chapter of Kenopanishad. And the 3rd reason for the Kenopanishad 3rd chapter is that knowing Brahman as I, we need lot of qualifications. Without the qualifications, we cannot know the self as a Brahman. And therefore, Shamadhi sadhan rahitasya Brahma vidyayaha durvigneyatvam, we cannot know. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, to develop the qualifications, adhikaritvam for the knowledge of Brahman, this 3rd chapter is being started. Now, Shankaracharya, see, this is what Shankaracharya is. It's not only Advaita. The way he presents the subject matter, that is Shankaracharya. So, before even starting the 3rd chapter, Shankaracharya himself has written that Ishvara is, existence of Ishvara is, understand. Why? He is telling by logic we can know that there is Ishvara. Why? In the story, briefly, if I tell you the story, that Devatas had an ego of the victory. And they were celebrating that victory as their own victory. And so Bhagavan thought that let us have tasting the devatas. So Bhagavan himself presented himself as a yaksha, yaksha swarupa. Yaksha means that which is self-effulgent, brilliant. So when devatas were celebrating, Bhagavan presented himself as a yaksha. So they saw that some brilliant being is there. So Indra asked Agni first, you go and find out who is this yaksha. Now when Agni went there, before Agni asked something, the yaksha asked, who are you? Look at this. If somebody goes to Modi and asks, who are you? Not only in India or in Gujarat, internationally everybody knows who is Modi. At that Modi, if you go and ask, who are you? Same way, Agni is known to everyone. And then Yaksha is asking, who are you? So Agni said, Jata Vedaha. By birth, I know everything. Then the Yaksha, what is your power? What is your capacity? Samarthya. He said, I can burn anything. Then, to taste him, a Yaksha put one dry grass blade, trunam, which is called in Sanskrit trunam. He put trunam in front of him and said, burn this. Now Agni felt so insulted. I can burn the entire universe, and this Yaksha is asking me to burn this dry blade of grass. So he used his capacity to burn that. In the words of Pujya Swamiji, he could not even change the color of the trunam, understand? He tried his best, he could not even change the color of the blade of grass. He understood that this is something special, which I am not understanding, so he left. When he came back to Indra, he said, I don't know. I don't understand. Then Indra said, Vayu, you go. So Vayu went there. Then before he asked anything, Yaksha, who are you? Vayu was surprised that he doesn't know I am Vayu, I am Vayu. I am the one who is everywhere. I am all pervasive Vayu. Then ask, what is your capacity? Vayu said, I can destroy anything. Yaksha said, okay, here is a dry grass blade. This grass blade is there. You destroy this. Vayu tried his best. He could not even move that blade of grass. He came back. Indra asked, what happened? I don't know. So Indra thought, let me go. So Indra went there. Now, Indra thought, I am the king of heaven. I will know who is this fellow. Before Indra even opened his mouth, Yaksha disappeared. Understand? But Indra was Satvika. See, this is what it is. So he understood this is something divine is there. So he started meditating upon that Yaksha. And Uma appeared in front of him. Uma as a Brahma Vidya. So this Uma imparted this self-knowledge to Indra. And that knowledge Indra imparted to Agni and Vayu. So by destroying the Ahankara of Indra, the self-knowledge is being imparted to them. So this is the story, understand? So through this we know what? Even the dry grass blade is being converted into Vajra. Means what? It is so strong that fire could not burn and Vayu could not even move it. And therefore, that is the Samarthya of Ishvara, that even the small dry grass blade is being converted into Vajra, which Agni or Vayu cannot destroy. So that is the Samarthya of Ishvara, understand? That means Ishvara is there. The existence of Ishvara is there. So Shankara Ishvara Ichchaya Trunam api Vajri Bhavati iti upapadyate. And not only that, the worship of Ishvara. Indra did the worshipping of Yaksha to know the Yaksha. So the worshipping also is required in our life. And what is the quality of Ishvara? So Shankaracharya, by sheer logic, he established that there is Ishvara and this is the Samarthya of Ishvara. So he said, if we look into this world, there is a bhogya padartha, there is objects of enjoyments, there is a means of enjoyment, there is a places of enjoyments, and there is an enjoyer of the enjoyments. Bhogya sadhana sthana bhokta mana buddhi. If you see the whole world, Pujya Swamini used to tell us, this whole world is a one big order, vyavastha or samvadita, harmony. So, without being the creator, Ishvara, this world cannot be operated. See, we are human being. Human being also are given the objects of enjoyment. Every human being, every animals, every birds, heaven, everywhere it is there. And therefore, Shankaracharya says that all these objects of enjoyment, and to enjoy that particular object, the particular means also is being given. And mind and intellect also are given. Not only that, Desha Kala Sthana Nimitta Nurupa Niyata Pravrutti Nivruttri Kramam. This whole world is functioning in very beautifully. Particular time, particular place. Surya is there, Chandra is there, Earth is here. Everything has a particular place, understand. Then time is there. So Shankaracharya says that everything which is having a particular situation, particular time, particular place, and particular experiences are there. So that cannot be possible without having all knowledge, all power, Ishvara. I always tell this one example. Look at this. This is called Karma Siddhanta. If you look into this Karma Siddhanta, I have this mother, my father, but they also need to have their prarabdha as me as their daughter and my brother as a son. So who has connected all these things? Understand how it is being connected. This particular person is going to be my mother. This particular jiva is going to be my father. This particular jiva is going to be my brother. But that brother also have the same parents in that his prarabdha. So all this networking, understand, is possible only by Ishvara. And therefore, Shankaracharya says this Vaichitra, Swayam Karmanaha Kartuhu Phaladatrutvam Anupappati. Karma himself cannot give me the karma phala. Karma himself is anitya jada. And therefore, existence of Ishvara is there. All knowledge, all power, Ishvara is there. Not only that, that Ishvara is the one who is giving us the result of our actions. And therefore, karma phala data it is called. Now, action itself cannot give because action itself is a jada, inert. That's why action cannot create the result of the action. And I cannot create, understand, karta. Karta means I, the doer. I cannot create the result of the action because so many other factors are working to create the result of the action. And therefore, kartuhu desha kala nimitta vishesa anabhignatvat. I don't know. So many other factors are working in that. And therefore, karma cannot be the creator of the result of the action. I, the karta, cannot be there. That means what? Somebody is there who knows everything. Desha vishesha abhignaha san swatetrena karma niyujjat abhig. So therefore, Ishvara is the karma phala data. Understand this. Ishvara is, the existence of Ishvara is there. He is the creator, he is the sustainer, and he is the one who is giving the result of the action. Karma phala data. And therefore, we can say that Ishvara is there, who is giving us the result of the actions. Now, if you say he is the giver of the result of the action, then there is a problem. Understand this? Logically, if we say there is a problem, why? He is giving certain people very beautiful, very successful life. Somebody who's working hard doesn't get any success in his life. That means what? He's partial, understand? Somebody is born in Africa jungle, somebody is born in Britain, somebody is born here in India. So he's partial. Is he partial? One thing, understand? Not only that, he is by birth somebody having certain kind of the disease. Means he is a cruel. Look at the way he is giving the life of others. So is he partial? Is he cruel? No, Ishwar cannot be. Understand? One thing. Second thing, if Ishwar is giving us, then by his own swatantrena, independently he is giving us the result of the action, then there is a problem from the standpoint of individual jiva. Why? What I have performed action, that result I won't get. Krutanasha. And something which I have not done, I get the result. Akruta abhyagama. And therefore, we say that Ishvara is karma phala data. But according to our karma only, he is giving us the result of the actions. Understand? That means there is a karma siddhanta. Through the karma siddhanta only we can understand this. Our own actions are there. That's why see in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Karmani eva tava adhikaraha ma phaleshu kadachana. Understand? We have a freedom over action. And on our previous human birth, we have done a lot of actions. And Ishvara is giving us the result of the action. But according to our own action, not according to his wish. And therefore, Ishvara is not partial, Ishvara is not cruel, and none of my action are being destroyed. I get what I do. And therefore, Swamiji used to tell us, we have to be very careful in performing our actions, and we have to take the responsibility of our own action. A lot of people, they don't do that. They perform the action and then they go on giving the excuses for the actions. That's wrong. No excuse. You have done something, That's it. Understand? And therefore, through Shankaracharya, we can understand that Ishvara is there who is giving us the result of the action, but that action is being performed by us. And now, that means what? I am Jiva, which is having Alpagna, Alpashakti. And he is Sarvagna, Sarvashakti. So can we say that Jiva and Ishvara are separate? That is obvious to us. Jiva is Jiva and Ishvara is Ishvara. Jiva is a karta bhokta, Ishvara is a karta bhokta. Jiva is alpagna, alpas. Understand? I am small being. He is what? All knowledge. So we say, is it so? They are separate. But we cannot say why. Because in Gita, so many places Bhagavan has given the oneness. Kshetragyam chapimam viddhi sarva kshetresu bharata. Arjun, kshetragyam kshetram janati iti kshetragna, the self, Atma, who is the kshetragna. Bhagavan said that kshetragna is me. Look at this. So there is a oneness is there. Chandogya Upanishad also in the 6th chapter, Sahayesha Nima Etadatma Vidam Sarvam Tat Satyam Saatma Tattvamasi Shveta Keto. That Brahman, that Advitiya Sat Brahman, which is the creator of the universe, which is Abhinna Nimittupadan Karan of this universe, is Atma. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shveta Ketu. So the oneness of the creator and the individual is being taught in the Shastra. Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati Kshatragyam Chapimam Vidya Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. And therefore, that Shankaracharya in the same paragraph, understand? He talks about that oneness also. Gnana Shakti Karma Upasya Upasaka Shuddha Shuddha Mukta Amukta Vedat Atma Veda Evati Tadna. Though we see that opposite, Ishvara is Mukta, I am Bandhan Amukta. Ishvara is Shuddha, I am Ashuddha. Understand? Shankaracharya says, Veda Drashti Apavadat. Why? Because Shastra itself is condemning the Veda Drashti. Udaramantaram kurute atatasya bhayam bhavati. If you distance yourself from that Ishvara, there is a bhaya. So, Veda Drashti, in Kathopanishad also, Yamaraja says, Mrutyusya mrutyum apnoti yahnana eva pashyati. So, Shastra herself is censuring, negating the duality, negating the separation between Jiva and Ishvara. Yaduktam samsarinaha ishwaradamyaha jivaha iti lakshana veda shakti veda karma veda cha. The Veda is from the standpoint of the Shakti, from the standpoint of the Lakshana, from the standpoint of the Karma. So that is what Upadhi Veda. This is Alpa Upadhi, that is a Purna Upadhi. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, from the standpoint of Upadhi, there is a differences, opposite. But if you remove the Upadhi, you are also conscious. In the beginning only I said, you are Sat, you are Chit. Understand? Your existence. Can you experience the non-existence of yourself? No. Understand? That Sat, the existence is. It is a Nitya. You cannot have any time the non-existence of yourself, the absence of yourself. And therefore, that Sat is not time-bound. One other thing, you are conscious being, there cannot be the limitations of conscious being. It is a Purna Chaitanya, Nirvikari Chaitanya. And therefore, Shankaracharya says that Upadhi Bhed Nirakrutya Swarupamaikyam. If the whatever differences are there between Jiva and Ishvara, they are based on the Upadhi. But if you remove the Upadhi, the Swarupa, Ishvara also is, already we said, existence of Ishvara, understand? So Sat is Ishvara, here also Sat I am. Chit is Ishvara, is a conscious being where the knowledge and power is there. I am also conscious being, understand? So from the standpoint of the Sat Chit Ananda, there is no difference. And therefore, the Shastra is here working with what? Whatever you are not, you have superimposed on yourself, and the Shastra is the one which is removing the superimposition on you. And therefore, through the removing the superimposition, you can see the oneness between you and Ishvara. And therefore, this is the knowledge. This is a Paravidya. And that Paravidya is the ultimate knowledge. Why? Because knowing which nothing else is left out to be known. See, in Mundaka Upanishad also, the question was what? Kasminnu Bhagavo Vignata Sarvam Vignatam Bhavati. Hey Guru, hey Bhagavan, knowing which everything is known to us. Same thing in the seventh chapter introduction, Bhagavan says, Yagnatva bhuyaha anya ganatavyam na avashishya. In Chandogya Upanishad also, in Shvetaketu Uddalak also, it is said, Ekasmin vignate sarvam vignatam bhavati. And therefore, Paravidya is the ultimate knowledge and Vedanta is ultimate means of knowledge through which we can know the oneness between the self and the Ishvara, and that oneness is the reality of your life. And therefore, this is the ultimate means. Other knowledge are there, I'm not telling them, but they are not ultimate knowledge because there are something which is there to correct. If you see in the science, the field of science, always we find out something better, something unknown. And therefore, all the science is all apara vidya, where there is no last final words are there. And therefore, the Vedanta is ultimate means of knowledge, and the knowledge imparted by the Vedanta is the ultimate knowledge through which we can gain the moksha also. And so that is the ultimate mean. And that's why the word ultimate is very important here, understand. That is the only ultimate mean, that is the only means of knowledge. Others are the means of knowledge, but they are all limited. Whether here, knowing the self as Brahman, through Vedanta Pramana, there is nothing else is left out for you to know, understand. And therefore, this is the ultimate means of knowledge called Vedanta. Om Tat Sat. Any questions are there? I'm ready.
Dhanyawadaha. Namaskaraha. Dhanyawadaha. I invite anybody to share their views or have questions, get clarification from Swamini ji, please. And I also invite Swami Nirbhayananda ji to share his views. And I swagatam karomi Swami Nirbhayananda ji ko. Sugunan Vemuri, please speak. Everyone, please unmute and speak. Sugunanji, Vemuri Sugunan.
1 minute, I will unmute him.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Mute yourself now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are hearing you. We are hearing you.
Please excuse me for my ignorance, but I have a small doubt. Like
Yeah.
when we say that we are no different from Paramatman, and we ourselves are Paramatman, we are the same. Why we are in the incapacitated version of Paramatman? Why we cannot be having all the powers and the capacity of the Paramatman as such?
Because we have the limited body through our karma. Our prarabdha karma has given us the limited body, and therefore, because of the limitations of the body, we cannot experience the all power of Ishvara, because that mind is limited, buddhi is limited. So
Okay.
our limitations are the limitation for not being the power of Ishvara.
But when the creation is being made, madam, when the creation is being made, why
Yeah.
Paramatman has to show that discrimination by making us incapacitated with the limited powers and limited knowledge?
Because of our karma. It is that's why I said the karma is very important thing. It is not Ishvara is giving you the limited body. Because of your karma, he is giving you the karma phala. Whatever you have asked, he is giving you. He is not giving by his own wish. If he is giving by his own wish, he is a partial person. Then he is not Ishvara. So your actions only are being given as a result of the action, you get this body.
But while discussing, madam, we also discussed that karma cannot be the creator of action.
Why?
We said so, probably in the discussion we dealt with it. Karma cannot be the creator of action. That is what one thing. If that is the case, like, in the initial stage, why anybody, when God creates everybody, then that there is no karma to start with? Why somebody has to resort to bad karma, somebody has to resort to good karma?
Okay, now I will give you the answer differently. See, what we have to see is that there is that we say in our Shastra, it is a chakra, Shrushti chakra. There is no beginning of that. We don't talk about the linear creation, understand? We talk about the chakra. There is no beginning. Anadi it is called. So the ignorance of the self is anadi. You don't know that you are Brahman. That ignorance itself is anadi. No beginning is there. And therefore there is no beginning. But you can end this process of janma and birth and by through the knowledge. And therefore, because anadi avidya is there, and therefore because of the anadi avidya, there is a anadi karma is there, anadi janmas are there. And so we cannot say there is a beginning of the ignorance. If you say there is a beginning of the ignorance, then the point where the ignorance is being started, before the beginning of the ignorance, there should be the absence of ignorance. And if there is absence of ignorance, there is a knowledge. So if there is a knowledge, there cannot be ignorance. And therefore, ignorance is a anadi. Anadi means no beginning, no starting point for the ignorance. And because of the ignorance of the self, we are performing the action. Agnanena avrutan gnanam tena muhyanti jantava. That's what 5th chapter Bhagavan says. Whole problem is agnanam only. You don't know the real self of yourself. And that agnanam is anadi. So now you cannot discuss why that ignorance is there or why so many karmas are there. It is there because of the ignorance. What you can do is gnana. Next verse. Gnanena tu tadagnanam nashitam. You can destroy that agnanam through this Vedanta Pramana. You can destroy the ignorance of the self and you can know the oneness between you and the Ishvara. Am I clear? Am I clear, Prabhakarji?
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank
Clear.
you.
I would like to add here,
Yeah.
that is in general to a common man told as a Leela. It's a Leela of Paramatma.
Yeah, but the Leela
Leela of
also, he
Paramatma
does. See,
with his idea of creation. Maybe if you say in cycle also, if you think that it started on one place, that place has created something and given certain parameters for you to operate. So within that parameters, if you operate, normally you will behave like a gnani only. If you just cross those parameters because of your ajnanam of Maya, immediately your karma starts. The moment karma starts, the cycle goes on going like that. It becomes like a nuclear reaction. So like that, the karma goes on adding, going like that. That goes, the cycle goes on turning like that. So that is the thing. When you go to the beginning of that, who can say which is beginning? Can you define what is beginning? You cannot, because it is cyclic. Just like Asha Purushottam Prapti Yogam says in the beginning, that it says no, the cycle goes like that. So in that cycle, you cannot identify which is starting point. So that is what Swamini has explained. And in that, my addition is that it is a Leela of Paramatma giving a common platform to all the people to start their way of life in this universe. So why, the question is no answer for this. So for why has God has done this? Somebody may question why God has done like this. There is no answer for this.
yeah, that's why we have the Karma Siddhanta. That's called Karma Siddhanta.
The Karma Siddhanta resultant of the action of the Paramatma.
Anybody else?
Anybody else would like to share his views or raise his questions? The subject is very vast, and anybody can have any question. It's not that that's, see, this Swamini has talked about Mimamsa theories, 6 theories of Mimamsa, and then how Pramana is to be decided, in what way it is to be decided. The Mimamsa theory itself is a big question to be asked, if somebody would like to ask. 6 Pramanas. See, Jansi Malaji, please
Hmm.
unmute and speak.
Namaste ji.
Namaste.
I am very ignorant about these things, but somewhere I heard that there is when there is no creation, there is a sheet of energy. In that sheet of energy, certain desires take a form, and those forms are existing as a human beings, and this is a common consciousness which is going for a long period of time before it goes into the sheet of energy. This is the concept I heard somewhere. What is your opinion on that, Swamiji?
We don't need to use the word sheet of energy. It is a Maya Shakti. Simple. Before the creation, there was Ishvara with Maya Shakti. So why we have to use word sheet of energy? We use Maya Shakti. Use the word what we know.
Okay.
So Ishvara is with Maya Shakti. When we say Ishvara is the creator, then any creation needs two things. Understand? Nimitta Karanam Upadanam. Nimitta Karanam is the creator. And the creator needs the dravya, some substance through which, with the help of which it creates that. Like the pot maker makes the pot. Pot maker is the creator and the clay is the dravya through which creates the pot. Now, Nimitta Karana has a knowledge and skill that is called Gnana Shakti. Understand? That's why we say Ishvara has a 3 Shakti. Maya Shakti is a 3. Gnana Shakti, Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Gnana Shakti, what we call Saraswati. Icha Shakti, what we call Lakshmi. Kriya Shakti, what we call Durga. So these 3 Shaktis are there in Ishvara. So before the creation, these Shaktis are avyakta, unmanifested. So it is unmanifested. Now it is manifested in the form of the creation. So simple. Before the creation, it was all unmanifested form of the power, action. Now, action, all the power of Bhagavan is functioning through the creation. So in the creation, all these 3 are functioning. So only manifest, unmanifest. Am I correct?
Yeah. And what is the difference between the lot of animals, birds, and human beings? They don't bond with the karma, but human beings are bound with karma. Why
No,
this is
they
happening?
are also bound. They are also bound with the karma only. Because of the karma only. That's why in Prashna Upanishad it is said, Punyena urdhvalokam gacchati. When the lot of punyas are there, you go to the urdhvaloka. You will have a devata body. Papena adholoka, lot of papas are there, then you will have adho yoni like birds and animals and mosquitoes and the narakavasa. So that is because of the papa. Abhabhyam manushaloke, when papa punya almost equal are there, then you have a human body. And therefore, it is not that way. Understand? There, because this animal, suppose there is a dog, the dog is now dog, but in the previous birth as a human being, he has done lot of papa, which he is incurring here and the body of dog. Everybody had so many human. So that's why I always tell in my classes that everybody is jiva. Not only human being is a jiva, dog also is a jiva. But at the moment, he has a body of dog. At the moment, he has a body of cat. At the moment, he has a body of the mosquito. But from the point of the jiva, as a karta, all are equal. Only in the present time, we see the differences.
Because they don't have karma jnana, how they perform good karma to attain a good janma?
They are this is called bhogayoni. They are only incurring their papa. They are only getting that papa, and that's why they have this body. But in the previous birth, as a human being, they have performed certain karma. Now we have performed here karma. If we don't get the moksha, we can go to any yoni. We can become the human being also. We can become the body dog also. We can become the fish also, according to our action.
Now, how those animals will become human beings? Because they don't have karma jnana.
Amma, There are sanchita karmas already there. The deposits of actions already are there in every jiva. Those actions decide which kind of the body you are going to get. At the moment, through your deposits of actions, you have this human body now.
Okay.
So that is called sanchita karma. There are three types of the karma we call. Sanchita karma, that is the deposit of actions are there in every jiva's account. And we say, that's why we say, that our, who is that person who is taking care of the actions? And prarabdha karma is the one that is a present, what you are going through. That is called your prarabdha karma. And whenever you have a human body, you create the new actions called agami karma. And therefore, sanchita karma, everybody has a sanchita karma. Every jiva has a sanchita karma. Through that sanchita karma, Ishvara decides which kind of the body you are going to get. Whether you are going to go to heaven, you are going to get the animal body, you are going to get the bird yoni, or you are going to get the human body. So it is your actions only which is coming as a body.
Jansi ji, your question is how a animal can come back to the normal human life. That's what your
Yes,
question,
yes,
right?
yes, yes, sir.
That is prarabdha. That karma only decides. That sanchit karma only can decide. We cannot
when that
decide.
knowledge is not there of how to do a good thing, how can we eradicate his papa karma and become a human being? That's what your question. So the
Yes, sir,
answer
yes,
for
sir.
that is the papa jarmas are being taken for the karmas that has been done as a human being. Without the buddhi and other things, they follow those karmas. Once that has been followed and has been done with that karma, that prarabdham, automatically he comes back to the human being. Then again buddhi works. If still continues to do bad, then he goes back again. If he comes to good one, then he goes up. So the other janmas which doesn't have buddhi are only to experience the papa karmas that have been done during human janma.
Right.
If human janma, if you have got an elevated type of thinking, automatically you come to the other higher levels of lokas. Bhuloka, Bhaurloka, Subarloka, Maharloka, like that. Every level you will be going up. So that's how the cycle has been created. The lower janmas are only to experience the papa karma that
Papa
has been done in
karmas.
human janma.
Yeah.
Not to
Makes
do
sense.
add a good thing for that. They experience, that's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They
Now I
follow that.
understood. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Any other question? Sugunaji, Sugunanji, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, because I am getting an opportunity to discuss, I am discussing. Please don't mistake. But I heard that the human form of the life is the most advanced one, and and the people who come up to the human form of the life, they will never get relegated to the animal lives again. It is only once again within the human form itself, probably in a better house they take a birth, or in a worse, not so better house they take a birth, something like that. Which one to accept? Which theory is more proper? Now we are understanding that once somebody does any papa, then he gets relegated to an animal thing and all that life. But there what I heard is that within the human this thing itself, they take the births, rebirths. So which one to accept?
We cannot accept that once you have a human being, always you are going to be human being, because our sanchit karma, as long as you have a human body, you have a freedom over actions. But as soon as you leave this body, again you are in the hands of your sanchita karma, the deposit of the actions. And those deposits of action will decide which kind of the body you are going to get. So you can go to the lower form of body also. After human being, person, the jiva can go to the lower body also, according to the sanchita karma.
Oh,
very clearly told in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna Bhagavan that I will put them in adho lokas, adho yonis.
Correct.
That is very clearly told. It's no two thoughts in that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hari Om. Now, shall we close the session today? We'll ask before closing the session. I request our Vice President.
Somebody, Balakrishna, somebody raised the hand. I saw that.
Krishnan Raj garu ఏదో అడుగుతాను. Krishnaraj garu raised his hand. He wants to ask something.
Okay, yeah.
Please come
Krishna,
forward.
where is he?
Krishnan Raj garu.
I saw his raising hand.
Who raised the hand? Please come forward and speak.
Krishnan Raj garu అడగండి మీ డౌట్.
Now I don't see.
124 Krishna. Is that
He
person?
raised his hand. B. Krishnan Raj garu.
It's okay.
Okay. Then anybody else? Ramakrishna Garu, you want to speak?
లేదండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ. నో క్వశ్చన్ సార్.
Okay, then. I request our Upadhyaksha Visalakshmi Mahodayam to conclude the session with her concluding remarks.
Can we do the
Sabhaya
concluding
Namah.
prayer?
Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Visalakshmi Mahodaya, Swagatam.
Sabhaya Namaha. Thank you very much, madam. You have explained Vedanta in an excellent way. The gist of the story of Kenopanishad, you have explained completely. And you have quoted from so many Upanishads to bring, actually your topic is the ultimate Pramana, the ultimate means of creator.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, the ultimate means of knowledge of individual and creator. So what is the ultimate means of knowledge is Vedanta. That you have said properly. So regarding Vedanta, you spoke about Advaita Vedanta, Tattvamasi, Saya Aishoni Maitadatme Midagam Sarvam Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, the Chandogya Upanishad, where Guru explained to his son Shvetaketu in 9 times about Tattvamasi, that you have explained clearly. And Kenopanishad story also you have explained and made it clear that Yad Vijnanena Sarvamidam Vijnatam Syat, knowing that by which everything is known, that is to be known, that is Brahman, that is the ultimate reality. And Mundakopanishad quotation also you have explained, Dve Vidye Veditavye. So there Yayata Daksharam Upagamyate, that by which we gain the ultimate knowledge is Paravidya. Para means beyond. So Upanishads themselves, they declared that all the Upanishads, that is first part of Mimamsa, part of all the Upanishads, Shastras and studies, branches of education, all these come under Aparavidyas because they deal with only the worldly things. They make us know how to live here in this world happily, knowing, having good knowledge of objects and all. But what is the use of having perfect knowledge of all the objects and living happily here when we do not know about ourselves? So you have explained about what is I. So we should know who am I, what is that I. So many impositions we are imposing, as you have said. So we should try to penetrate deep into ourselves instead of going outside. We should Panchakoshas also you have explained. So we should know that this mind body, that is I am body, that sort of feeling should be removed. That sort of superimposition is to be taken away. Then we can have the correct knowledge. That is called as Dehatma Bhranti. So when that Dehatma Bhranti is removed by the proper knowledge given by the Gurus, or by studying the Upanishads, get the knowledge, perfect knowledge, then we can realize ourselves. Who am I? I am not this body, I am not prana, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, or I am not any job that I am, the position which I am holding here. All these are due to the upadhi that we are having, the ideas we are having, all these things. So but all these together, along with the Chit-Shakti Chaitanya, which is universal, transcendental, immanent, that ultimate power, along with that is called as the human being. So when we remove all Soyam Devadatta also, you have given very good example. that Devadatta, who is once seen as a very king with royal glory, is now seen as a beggar in the streets. Even then, that person is the same, though that glory and this poverty, when they are removed, that identity of Devadatta comes out. So similarly, you have explained so many, what all sorts of examples they explain in Vedanta to make us, the disciples, realize who is, that is what is actually the I that you have explained. And this Panchakosha Vivarana, you said Taittiriya Upanishad describes, even in Viveka Chudamani, Jagadguru Adisankara Bhagavad-pada also very excellently explained us. Actually, the characteristics of Guru, the characteristics of disciple, and the knowledge, how we have to get, how to remove these Panchakoshas description, and ultimately how one can realize himself as Aham Brahmasmi. So that sort of real knowledge is to be known only by Vedanta. So what you have taken the topic as the Pramana, that is correct. And you have said only 6 Pramanas. In fact, they say there are 8 Pramanas in Nyaya Darshana, but mostly only 4 Pramanas are described as epistemology, the theory of knowledge, very wonderfully. But mostly all people except Charvakas believe only in Pratyaksha Pramana. And mostly all others, they believe in Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda Pramana, Upamana also. And Vedanta people, they believe in Arthapatya and Anupalapti also. Some people may take Aitihya also as Pramana, but Pramana is the means of knowing the knowledge. How to impart knowledge to a person through which means. So that you have explained very nicely, madam. We thank you very much.
Thank you.
All great knowledge you got, and the way you have explained about the karmas. Even Paramatma says he is only karma phala pradata, karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Even that you have quoted, that's correct. And the doubts all these people, they are, that is most of us will be having so many doubts. When God is giving us, when God has created this universe, why diversity is there? In fact, Upanishad clearly says, Neha nanasti kinchana, mrityo samrityamapnoti ya iha naneva pashyati. Even then, because we see the diversity, we believe in diversity, and we get ordinary people. In fact, most 99% of people, they always get the doubt that when God has created the universe, why there is diversity? Why I am suffering? Everyone feels he is suffering. He is having troubles. So for this, our Karma Siddhanta gives excellent reply. That is why even foreigners also, they seek our Karma Siddhanta to get complete solace to their mind also. And they get satisfied by this Karma Siddhanta, doctrine of Karma, which speaks about this Prarabdha Karma, Sanchita Karma, Agami Karmas and all. And when we go to the ultimate, that is one of our persons now questioned also. When we go to the first generation, why for the first time when God created, there should be equanimity. There are no karma phalas to any jivas whoever have been given the human body, that they somebody questioned. So for that we can say that since God is impartial, he never created anything, he never gave any instigated a person to do good or instigated a person to do bad things or anything. He is always tatastha. It is the karmas of the jivas which are instigating their minds to do the works. Then for the first time when they are born, why they are, somebody are doing good karmas and enjoying, doing bad karmas and suffering. For that we can say, for the first time God might have created everybody equally, but when once the first couple came into this nature, seeing the nature, the good and bad, the happiness and troubles, everything are there mixed in the nature, because the nature is the mixture of trigunas, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. So they, without any purva karma phala also, people may get attracted towards certain good works, that is the enjoyments which are there in the nature. So with selfish motive, they might have consumed them. So they may be developing their own karma, and thus the karma might have started. So that karma gives its result. So automatically good karma, bad karma, people will do when they come into this nature, because nature is of trigunas. So we can answer like this, I think, because I got this doubt, and in 1,000 ways I discussed, and I thought kalpas also, even so many kalpas are passing away, even then dhata yatha purvam akalpa, yat dhata has created, Brahma has created all living beings. Then why there should be any difference in either thinking or enjoying or suffering, gaining knowledge or remaining ignorant and all? For that, I thought that we can convince ourselves with such answers. So anyway, you have explained very nicely the gist of Advaita Vedanta. Now you have explained as the perfect means of Pramana, ultimate Pramana. Thank you very much, madam. And I thank Sri Akala Prabhakar Rao Garu for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to sum up what you have said. Thank you very much. Swasti.
Namaskar. Dhanyawadaha, Sulashni Mataji.
Thank you. And this article, what I have written, will be available. Prabhakar ji can share the article also with all of you, with all quotations. So you can have that article also.
Yeah, please send that. You are talking
Yeah,
about
I
PPT.
already sent you on WhatsApp. I have shared.
PPT, the
Yeah.
PPT one. You are talking about PPT.
No, not PPT, PDF file.
PDF. Yeah, please send that PDF.
Yeah.
Dhanyawadaha. I will distribute it.
I want to reveal my views, madam.
Yeah, please.
Namaskar.
Namaste. My name is Rangaswamy. Yes, madam. I don't know how to talk in English, but in Telugu I can express my feelings.
And
madam.
Prabhakar ji will translate it. You just tell it.
Only, yeah, okay. Only I will take only 2 minutes, madam.
Okay.
2 minutes. Enough, madam. Thank you. ధర్మం అనేది మీడియా ద్వారా అధర్మంగా ప్రచారం జరుగుతుంది. అధర్మం అనే ప్రచారము ఏ విధంగా జరుగుతుందో ధర్మం కూడా మీడియా ద్వారానే జరుగుతోంది. అయితే ధర్మాన్ని ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ అధర్మంగా పాటిస్తే ఎటువంటి విషయం బోధపడుతుందంటే, రామాయణంలో రాముడు స్వయంగా ధర్మాన్ని నెలకొల్పాడు. తర్వాత శ్రీకృష్ణుడు ధర్మాన్ని యుద్ధం ద్వారా వేరే వారి ద్వారా చేయించాడు. ఇప్పుడు ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ అదే ధర్మంతో అధర్మాన్ని ఎదుర్కొనడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. కానీ ఇంత సమాజంలో ధర్మం అనేది సుస్థాపితం కావడానికి ఎవరి ధర్మం వాళ్ళు బోధించుకునే స్థితి, ఆ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అనేది, ఆ చదువు అనేది, ఆ నాలెడ్జ్ అనేది, వేదము, వేదాంతము, ఉపనిషత్తులు వీటిలో ఉన్నటువంటి సారాన్ని సూక్ష్మంగా వాళ్ళకు ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి తెలియజేసే మార్గం ఏమిటా అని ఆలోచిస్తున్నాను మేడం. ఇదే నా డౌట్.
Yeah, what he says is dharma and adharma both are being going in media, but whereas dharma is being also being taught on dharma, adharma is also being taught, and people are following both this way and that way. But in our history, itihasas say Rama has followed himself dharma. He is vigrahavan dharma. Like that, he followed and showed to the public how a dharma is to be followed and implemented by himself, and he has shown the path. And whereas Krishna made others, other rajas, other things, Arjuna and others, to in their name, he got it done by them. So not himself, he himself also doing it. It's not that he himself not following dharma, but he has made others to do the dharma, and then made the dharma de-establish it again, instead of he himself doing it. That's what Krishna has done. And whereas in democratic setup, now the present Kali Yuga is going on, is every human being, every person is supposed to follow his dharma and see that dharma is established again back. That's what is my wish. That's what he wants to, Rangaswamy wants to express his ideas. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Very
yes,
good.
Dhanyawad.
Very well explained. You're right.
We are fighting every day.
Fighting, and this is that's why in my first seminar itself, I told one slokam in 2016, Sanskritam Samskruti, Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sanjha Pravartate, Uttishta Narasardula Kartavyam Dayumandikam. This I explained in my speech in, I don't say, Bhagavan made me to say that the same thing, what theory, what you told just now, is at that time, Rama was the king. Rama was the person who wanted to establish Dharma. And that's why Vishwamitra has told him, come on, get up. You are supposed to do your duty. Now, every house is supposed to be Rama.
Yeah, that's why Gita Bhagavan said, Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha.
So that's
Swadharme
why
Nidhanam Shreya.
every house, one Rama has to be born, and he has to establish the Dharma as a democratic setup. That's what I wanted to convey to the people at that seminar.
Yes.
So this is what we want to convey, and this is what the Veda Samskruti Samiti's principle also. Thank you very much for bringing this
Thank
point
you.
to us.
Nice.
Swamiji, very nice of you.
Thank you.
And now what I want to conclude one point,
Okay.
what I liked very much, and we all should remember. The one theory what Swaminiji told to us is Aparavidya and Paravidya. Aparavidya is one by which you will never end the knowledge to be known. Go on trying to know something more, but you will never reach the maximum knowledge. That is Vijnanam, that is science. That is the Maya, that is Trigunatmakam, that is Panchabhutatmakam. Whereas Paravidya is the one by knowing what, you don't need to know anything else. That is Paravidya. This is very important point we all should remember, and this is all the basic rule for everything. Atma, Anatma, Sakshatkar, Atma Sakshátkaram. For all these things, this is the basic principle. How the Srishti is being done, how the question for that person also, why my people are not follow in the original Janma, first Janma, why God has given like that. He has created certain thing that he has supposed to us to follow with certain dharmas. Vedam, he has created in Gita also told, Brahma has created the universe as well as he has given Vedas also to follow in a particular fashion. And both has been given by the God. If you don't follow those things in a particular true spirit, automatically you are supposed to end up in the cycle, Janma Mrityu cycle. If you want to come out of that, you have to know the Jnanam, Paravidya. So that's what the thing, that's main points. He started with that concept, and that is to be remembered by all of us. Thank you very much, Swaminiji.
Thank
Nice
you.
of you. I request Babu to close the session with vote of thanks. Dr. Babu, please, are you there? Then we'll go to Prarthana and Janaganamana.
Namo Namaha. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to the elite gathering. Today is a topic after a long time. We got a very, very important topic, which is, basic for all of us. In the meantime, last 3-4 months, at least, we did not get such a very good topic. This is one of the articles which are, published in our Veda Samskruti Samiti website. And let us all thank, Swaminiji for sparing her time. In fact, we have been asking her to give us this opportunity, and now we got it. And let us thank on behalf of Veda Samskruti Samiti and all of you. I thank Swaminiji for giving us such a very nice, good talk. And also I thank all of you for sparing your time and attending this. And the time you have spent is worth, I feel you must have got value of that, definitely. And I thank Lalitaji and other Vishalakshiji, you have contributed for making this webinar a big success, and especially Vishalakshiji, who has given the concluding remarks. That is all. Say thanks to Veda Samskruti Samiti. Thank you very much.
Dhanyawada. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, कच्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सत्यं वद धर्मं चर सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरिः ओम्। सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। इदं मम। हरिः ओम्। जनगणमन। जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत
भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उच्चल बंगा हिमाचल यमुना गंगा
उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग
तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मांगे
आहे तव जय गाथा। जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता।
जय हे
जय हे जय 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 हे। जय हिंद जय हिंद जय हिंद। जय श्री राम जय श्री राम जय श्री राम। नमस्कार।